You know what's crazy? Like, I had this idea of marriage, and my husband used to always tell me that, and I was like, nah. But you grow up having an idea of what you want your marriage to be. And so when you get with this person, they're supposed to fit your idea of marriage.
Yeah.
And not y'all's idea of marriage.
Yep.
And so you get disappointed when they don't fit the image that you had in your head.
Expectations kill so many things.
Yeah, definitely. So, and I also think it's so important, like the 5 love languages. That's real.
Yeah.
Like, if you can understand your mate's love language, things will go so much smoother because you cater to their heart. You cater to what they understand and not just what you understand. So when you cater to what they understand, they receive it, and then their response is catering to what you understand.
Oh no! I don't get it. It's okay. We get
it. I was like, yes, Lord, come on with the cancellations.
Ooh, we going in and now just kidding.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm black. Am I good?
He's with the best of them. And he's one of my favorite men to ever emphasize.
that entrance sounds like much more than who I actually am.
Okay, so my guest of honor is an entrepreneur, mother of 2, wife celebrating 10 years of marriage, and most importantly, a follower of Christ. She's the owner of Golden Air's Edge Control, the best edge control in the world, in real life, the best. She's an amazing licensed beautician that has owned her shop for the past 5.5 years. She's an expert in all things beauty, and she most recently launched a CMOS collection, which is a family business. She lives a life that is pleasing to the Lord, and I know that he's proud of everything she's accomplished. My guest of honor is Monique Releford. How you doing,
sis? That was so sweet. Thank you.
No problem. I meant every word. So.
Thank you so much.
I want to ask you, we got to start with the first question. How has quarantine been going for you?
Quarantine has been a blessing in disguise. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
When I tell you, like, I was ready. Like, when they was like quarantine, I hurry up and canceled all my appointments.
That's so funny.
And for real, like, I needed it. I definitely needed the break. Like, it's hard as a hairstylist to, like, take time for yourself because you be like, I'm going to disappoint somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I can't cancel appointments. I need a break, but I can't get, I hate rescheduling. I hate canceling. I'm just like, I don't want to do that. So when it happened, I was like, yes, Lord, come on with the cancellations.
Press pause for us. Press pause.
You know what I'm saying? And in that time, like, it was amazing. I did a lot of research. That's how I started with the CMO. So it was a blessing. I must say, thank God we didn't get sick, so.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. It was a blessing. I feel like I had time to breathe.
Yes, like for real.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, you are a licensed beautician and you know about all things beauty. So can you tell me about like your story and how you got to be to this Monique that sits before us today?
Sure. So I've always wanted to do hair since I was a kid. I wanted to do hair, and ironically, it was actually in a dream where I actually learned how to braid hair. So
Wow.
I dreamt that I was braiding hair in the dream, and I woke up and I just did the exact same thing that I did in the dream. So I always say God taught me how to braid hair. For real.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So ever since then, I braided my hair, my sister's hair, friends, in high school I took cosmetology and I ended up getting my license, before my diploma.
Yeah.
So that was pretty dope. After high school, I actually did not want to do hair anymore. I wanted to just experience life and, see what else is out there. So I did went to college for a couple of years and I, worked regular jobs. And then I worked at a bank 6 months. And at the end of that 6 months, I said, I'm going to do hair. Like, it was so stressful. It was just going every day in the four walls and in the cubicle, seeing the sunshine outside. It was just like, this ain't me life.
This ain't
So
it.
it wasn't it. So I was like, I did it the right way. I put in my 2 weeks notice and everything. And then after my 2 weeks was up, I went into doing hair at home full time. I was always scared to go into a shop. Crazy, right? I was always scared, like, I gotta pay this money out, and I'm not gonna, it's just, I'm looking at my finances at the time, and wasn't looking at what my finances could be if I just went ahead and went into the shop and opened that door. So eventually I did, and it was like the best decision ever to just bet on myself. I did. I bet on myself, and it was definitely the best decision ever. So I started working in a salon with my cousin's sister, and that was a couple of months, and then I moved to the salon that I was in prior to where I am now. And I was there 4.5 years. Started there last August, September. I moved into my own suite and have been there ever since. So it's been amazing.
And you get to set it up how you want to set it up and everything.
Yes. And at home, I'm not able to like do the pink stuff here and there. I'm just like at the shop. Oh yeah, it got pink in there, got the gold in there. I was able to just really put my personality in it. So that was dope.
Yeah, and you need that space too. Mamas need their own space.
Yes, like definitely. Like sometimes I don't even be rushing to leave out the door. Like I just sit in there and close my door and just enjoy the peace and quiet of it all. It's something about the sunshine I love. Like in the suite, I will not get a room that I have a window. Like
You need that.
Yes, like I need to be connected to outside, definitely.
Yeah, that we need our vitamin D intake. We got to have all of that.
Yes.
So, how would you say you being an entrepreneur has impacted your children?
They want to be entrepreneurs, actually. They're always looking to start their own business. They're just like, Mommy, can you buy this? I want to do this for my business. And Mama, can I have some money out for what you doing? Because I just helped you package this edge control. Like, they are definitely looking for ways to like start working like ASAP. My son even be looking at me like, I'm gonna do her when I get up, grow up, and I'm like, for real. He was like, yeah.
Look,
So
he can do it if he wants to.
He's always, and Kenzie, the next business idea, it changes every week though, but they're always trying to come up with some kind of business to go ahead and start. So it definitely impacts them.
That makes me so happy to hear, because I feel like everybody preaches college and go to the workforce, but nobody talks about ownership. And
Yeah.
I think, well, my mom was an entrepreneur, so of course that was ingrained in me as a young kid. I was packaging stuff too, like 5 years old, cleaning up places, doing parties and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that's great, because that's going to teach them another avenue that the world is not going to really teach them.
Absolutely.
And maybe they'll be millionaires before they even grown up. You never know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, put mama and daddy into a house, buy us a couple of cars. Look.
We done took care of you all this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so crazy. But I'm happy to hear that, though. Your kids are definitely bright, and they have personalities that's like very likable.
Thank you. They are my jewels.
Let me ask you this. What role does like religion and your spirituality play in your life?
Oh, that's the foundation. Like, regardless of everything, it's the foundation. Even when I started doing hair full time, I was broke. But even in that time, I told myself I had always paid my tithe, but it was like I'll pay it when I got it, or every now and then. But this time, like 5.5 years ago, I said I'm gonna go ahead and pay my tithes. I'm not gonna deviate from it, and I've done that since day one. And I watched God just progress my business. Like, for one, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take care of the 10% that he tells me to take care of. Sometimes I do a little bit more, but sometimes I'm gonna stick to the 10%.
Yeah.
But it's so important because if God can trust me with the business that He gave me or the idea that He gave me, why can't I trust Him with the funds that He provides to be able to continue to increase it? And I want to be able to not just focus on myself and my family, but I want to be able to help others as well, the kingdom as well. So it's super important in my everyday life, even with my children. We try to teach them how to pray and pray on their own, and try to figure out how to have an actual relationship with God, not just what they're taught. Growing up, I was taught a lot about Christianity and religion, but I don't know so much as to how much I was taught to have a relationship with God. And so that's the thing that we try to stretch the most now is the relationship part of it, because I think the rest of it will come, in time. So, and then as far as business goes, I always say my business is not mine, it's God's. I'm just the manager. So as long as He owns it, He's the one they got to deal with. Deal with everything. So Lord, if you don't want your name to be bad, I'm gonna need you to come on with it and make some things happen, because I'm representing you. You know what I'm saying? So I try not to stress on things much when it comes to the business, because I know I don't own it. I'm just here to just facilitate.
Yep. We're just willing vessels. That's all.
Yeah, that's all.
Whatever He wants us to do. Sometimes we don't understand what He wants us to do. We be like,
I know. Yeah.
Sure.
He like, you want me to? Oh, for real? You
Oh,
want me to say that?
okay.
Okay. They gonna be like, are you crazy?
For real.
Majority of times when we obey, like, it be like, wow, like, oh, they really was you, huh?
Right. We do be like, little pause for a second, like, but okay, God.
Yeah, I guess I do it. I mean, but yeah, I try to be obedient as much as possible. I'm not perfect. I'm not always obedient, but I try to be. I try
None
to
of
make
us
sure.
are.
Yeah. And I think it's so important to me not to taint my witness, meaning my everyday life. I want to be able to walk in a way to where if God did give me a word for somebody, that they will listen because of my walk.
Yeah.
And not say, girl, you was just, blah, blah, blah. Well, I ain't got to listen to you. And nobody has to listen to me, but I want to make sure that what I do, I still don't taint my witness.
Absolutely. Because I feel like people want us to be perfect, but that's unrealistic. Like, we're progressing. That's what we do every day. So as long as we're doing that and God is happy with what we're doing, that's what we should be focused on.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah. So I think that, friendships and support groups are very important. And like, especially when you're trying to start a business, I feel like sometimes we need that extra like push sometimes. So the people that are in your life have to be of a certain caliber to help you with that. What are your 5 non-negotiables when it comes to like friendships and relationships?
That's a good question. Non-negotiables. I'm really lenient. I mean, I say that because I give a lot of chances, maybe when I shouldn't, but I do. So when it comes to any kind of ship, honesty is so important to me, because I'm the type of person that trusts you off top. Like, I'm not gonna come in like side eyeing you. I'm just gonna come in like, oh, you're like me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have a relationship or friendship that's uneasy for me, or that is forced, or I gotta tiptoe or deviate. You know who I am. Like, I just rather not. So that's, I guess, non-negotiable. What else? Self-centered people. It's not just non-negotiable. It's just, I'd rather not deal with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can be cool, we can be cordial, but that's about as far as it's gonna go. Like, I'm not gonna fake you with you.
Right.
at this time of my life, I definitely need people around me who's trying to progress, and that's not just okay with just being where you are or where you have in the last 5, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want, and I'm gonna do my best to encourage my friends and things, but it's just one of those, I can't stop my progress because you want to stay where you are, I guess.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. What else? I don't know. I don't really have many non-negotiables. It's just pretty much across the board. Like, just be real and want to be better.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, everybody like kind of stumbles on that question because it's like, I don't want to be judgmental, but that's really how I feel like people take it. It's like, I feel like it's not you being judgmental, but you know what you need in your circle and what doesn't serve you. So I think everybody needs to ask themselves that question, like, what do you feel like you can't deal with or would not like to deal with when it comes to your life and the people you have in it?
Yeah, that's true. I'm definitely gonna have to like reevaluate that. And I think a lot of people, well, I know for me that question may be hard because it requires us analyzing the people that's around us.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we're kind of comfortable with who's around us. So in order for us to analyze them, it just means that maybe we have to make a move on whether they stay or not. And a lot of people are not ready for that.
That's facts. Because everybody can't go with you.
Yeah.
Everybody cannot go with you. So it's like, dang.
Yeah.
I got to let her go? That's sad.
Right. Yeah.
That's all right, though. Well, one of the biggest things I feel like for the people coming up is making the decision to either go to college or to go to the workforce.
Mm-hmm.
You got your license before the diploma. So what would you say was the biggest challenge when it comes to education? What do you think is the biggest challenge for you?
I say my biggest challenge was college. As far as because I did have a professional license already, it's like people go to college to get that.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that I already had it and people telling me you need to go to college is just like, well, what am I going for? You know what I'm saying? And I don't think when I was in college, they had entrepreneur classes and things like that. All it was business class majors, marketing. I don't know if we had marketing.
No.
So it was like, what am I going for? Okay, I'll just go because everybody say go to college after you go to high school. So I went. Yeah. But for me, college, it ended up being a time to get to know me and to mature myself, because I could have stayed home and went to college, but I actually decided to go away. So, my cousin was away home. So I was like, I want to move away because I wanted to grow up. I wanted to not be so immature and, childish. I wanted to actually grow up and be on my own and just start life. So that's what I did. To where I had to be responsible, for myself. So the college experience was that for me. I did the classes. I can't tell you anything about them today.
That's all right.
I did it, but it wasn't for me. I didn't do it for me. It was prepaid by my grandfather, and I did it because it was prepaid.
Yeah. And thank God that you're not in debt like me.
Yeah, it's definitely a blessing. When I look back on it, it was so normal to me. I didn't realize that people actually got in debt from college.
Look at here. If I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have went to college. But I mean, I got a lot out of it. Out of the lessons outside of the classroom, not inside of the classroom. So I always tell kids, like, I feel like God had me go to college so I can learn the language and to become, I guess, well versed in coexisting with other cultures. So I think that's why I was in college. But the paper, it's very expensive.
All those essays,
but I think that it's important that people know that you have options. and that's not something that you have to do. I feel like some students need to take a year before they even move, just like figure it out.
Yeah.
What you want to do.
Yeah. And not a year at home.
Right. Away.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
mentioned that you moved, and I wanted to know, like, how did you even get enough courage to want to move? I know you said you wanted to grow up, but like that process of actually saying I want to move, like, was there any extra process to that? Or you just was like, I'm out?
I'm out. Like, I don't know where it came from. Because even my husband was here. You know, we were dating at the time, so he was here. Like, you know, everything was good with that. So, to move, I don't know where that came. It must have been God, because I have no clue where it came from. It had to be God, because when I moved back home, I got pregnant. So
yeah, he made that little slip for a reason.
Yeah. So yeah,
that's so funny.
Yeah. So it was definitely God, because it was just one of those, like, I don't know. I just wanted to get away.
That's all right. More people need to do it. Let me ask you about finances and budgeting. So being an entrepreneur, we have to count our pennies and make sure that we are on the up and up when it comes to finances.
Yeah.
But you are a woman that likes nice things. So how do you manage your budget, or like, do you budget?
I do budget. I've budgeted for a while now, and I wasn't good at it. Like, at the end of the year, when I go over my finances, and I'd be like, where that money at though?
Where it go?
Like, I don't see that in my account, so what's going on? And so that it was actually just last year that I got serious about saving. So I was saving last year, and I ended the year. I ended okay. But this year, it was actually my tithe statement that did it. When I got that in the mail, and I was like, oh, I tithe more than I got in my savings. Okay, so we got a problem. So what I actually started doing was, when I paid my 10% to my tithes, I paid 10% to my savings.
Yeah.
And that has been a huge help.
Yeah.
Just doing that on its own. And I saw a significant change in doing so. And then when it comes to me doing cash every day, I actually stopped using cash so much and only use my card, because I see that. And I'd be like, oh, you spend too much on food, you been shopping too much. Like, I don't like seeing it. I don't like seeing the number drop.
Yeah.
So for me, that helped me not spend so much as well. Stop using cash and just use my cards to hold me accountable for what I am spending.
Yeah. I think it's funny, the average person, they'll tell them to use their cash versus their card, because I guess since they don't get cash that much, it's usually a deposit, so they just be swiping. Just swiping.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you flipped it and it works for you.
Yeah, definitely. And then even with my card payments that I get from clients, I don't transfer those over until the end of the week.
Okay.
So I don't, because if I got paid every day, by the end of the week, I'm looking like, did I get paid? You know, like, where's my money at? So I try to budget myself that way too, is whatever's in my account for the week is what I got. And then, you know, whatever comes is going to come for next week.
Yeah. Save your money.
Yeah. And then when I was over a certain amount of spending money, I would put that in my savings as well. So I just pretty much, once it goes in my savings, it ain't mine.
It ain't mine.
It ain't mine. I don't even count it. I ain't got that. I got $200. That's it.
And nothing else. Nothing else.
Yep. So I had to force myself to budget.
But like most people.
Yeah.
So it's okay. So you already said you're married. You've been married for 10 years.
In September, it'll be 10 years.
That's amazing. That's crazy. First of all, I feel old. You've been married for 10 years already. Like, what advice would you give people on how to maintain like that? Because that's a milestone in real life.
Yeah. I would say the most important thing about marriage and maintaining marriage is understanding that you both change constantly. Like, you're not the same person you were when you guys met. You're not the same person before kids. You're not the same person before that job change. Like, you're just not. They've progressed. They've changed. Their desires and wants have changed. You've changed. Your desires and wants have changed as well. So it would be a disservice to hold them to be that same person and accept the change. Because if you are going against the change, you're going against the grain. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what's the point of going against it? Because it happened. You can't go backwards. Just accept it and move forward.
Yeah. That's in life. That's for everybody in your own life too. Accept embrace it and move forward.
Yes. Like it for me, it was a long time to where, and you know what's crazy? Like, I had this idea of marriage, and my husband used to always tell me that, and I was like, nah. So, you know, you grow up having an idea of what you want your marriage to be. And so when you get with this person, they're supposed to fit your idea of marriage.
Yeah.
And not y'all's idea of marriage.
Yep.
And so you get disappointed when they don't fit the image that you had in your head.
Expectations kill so many things.
Yeah, definitely. So, and I also think it's so important, like the 5 love languages, that's real.
Yeah.
Like, if you can understand your mate's love language, things will go so much smoother because you cater to their heart. You know, you cater to what they understand and not just what you understand. So when you cater to what they understand, they receive it, and then their response is catering to what you understand.
Right. How did you know that you were ready for marriage at that young of an age? Because y'all obviously got married early, you know?
Yeah, we did.
How did you know that you were ready for that? Or did you not know?
I knew that I loved him. I knew that I didn't want to be without him. I mean, he proposed to me before we got married and before I got pregnant, but it was one of those, we were in the car at a family event, and he was like, if I asked you to marry me, would you say yeah? And I was like, yeah. He said, okay, we're engaged.
Okay, we're engaged.
Like, okay. So I just blew that off. But he said that's when he proposed to me. I was like, still to this day, he says that's when he proposed to me.
Oh, man.
I'm just like, what? But for
I didn't know.
Yeah. And for me, it was honestly, it was just me being pregnant and not wanting to go into being a mother and not a wife.
Yeah.
So I was like, we already talked about this thing. Let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah. I mean, but obviously it was a good decision. Y'all are a good match. You know I love y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. We love you too, girl. But you know it ain't easy.
No, it's not easy. But nothing worth having.
Hell and back.
Nothing worth having is easy though.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
it's all good. So how would you just define success and happiness?
I'll start with happiness.
Okay.
My dad always told me that happiness is based off of what's happening around you. And so I've actually looked for more joy than actually happiness. Like, if I've learned to live in the moment. So living in the moment and appreciating where I am and the people and things that are around me, it makes me happy. And as far as success goes, having a plan, like being where you are and not just satisfied or content, but knowing that you're in a good space, but you have plans on moving forward.
Yeah.
That's good. Of continuing to progress.
That makes sense.
And money does not make you successful.
No, it does not.
Yeah, but when I read the reviews on my website, like, that's success, where it's consistently saying the same things, and to be able to be a vessel, a servant, to be able to be acknowledged in a way to where it's like, I appreciate you.
Yeah, and with all of that comes responsibility, but
Uh-huh.
Definitely. I always tell my students, y'all have a platform, so now you have responsibility. Like
Yeah.
it's on you. But that's good though. You've accepted that, so it's all good.
I have. Many times I want to clap back, but
Like,
I just keep where it's at.
sweet baby Jesus ain't gonna be happy about that.
Yeah. I done did a whole bunch of writing deletes.
I didn't delete it. I always put
Yeah.
stuff. I got this notebook. I'll be putting it in here in permanent marker. I just
Yeah.
write it and rip it out. See, it's right on the desk. It stay on the desk.
Yeah. Say right there.
Right, literally right there. But
Mm-hmm.
if you could give yourself advice, like your younger self advice from your older self, what would you say?
Ooh, I would tell my younger self, stop expecting so much from people.
Mm-hmm.
Stop expecting people to make you happy. Stop expecting people to show you things that, stop expecting people to define you, I guess. It's okay if people, it's okay to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I don't know. Don't conform. Like, be authentically who you are and walk in that. Don't be pressed, by your peers. Don't give in to, if you don't want to do something. Like, be you and stand in your truth.
That's good. Everybody needs to know that.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to know that. I feel like with society, we feel that pressure sometimes, even as adults, but I feel like our youth, they feel it a lot because they don't know, they don't have experience to base it off of. So I'm glad that you said all those things.
You think you're gonna lose some friends if you don't give in, but ultimately you won't. And somebody is actually waiting on you to give in so they can get in too.
Yeah, they're not your friend though.
Yeah.
They're not your friend.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you believe purpose is a journey or a destination?
A journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like it's always changing, it's always evolving, and I feel like we have multiple purposes.
Mm-hmm.
And if we focus on the destination, we only focus on one purpose. So I feel like when we focus on the purpose rather than the destination, we can actually open up to see this in multiple ways.
Yeah. I can see that for sure. My last question would be, if you knew then what you know now, would you change anything?
I can say no, because I wouldn't be who I am. And then I would say yes, because I wouldn't have wasted so much time. But no, because ultimately I wouldn't be who I am today. I needed that bumps on the head in order to be who I am and where I am at this very moment.
Yeah. Well, can you tell me about your businesses and your empire real quick? I want them to know everything that you're building right now.
So right now I am still doing edge control. So here it is. I just recently changed the label. So you see, it's edge control.
Beautiful.
But this is the edge control on the front, Matthew 6:33 foundation. That is www.goldenairers.com. You can order there. Still hair, Instagram is at mo_goldenairers. And then of course we did just launch the sea moss. So here we are with the sea moss collection.com. All the names are under Golden Airs on Instagram, Facebook. Yeah. And we're gonna be at your next local events as soon as outside open up.
We needed to open up now. We need that.
Yeah, like right now.
Please. But not too soon if it ain't time. Like,
yeah. Stay home.
Yes, stay home. And wear a mask, please.
Yes. Stay home, wear a mask.
Well, I really do appreciate you, sis. This has been great.
It has. I appreciate you for having me on. This is amazing. I'm so happy for you using your platform to encourage the next generation. We need that. We
Of course.
definitely need that to direct them, to guide them, and to give them just sound advice, real life advice. But from a spiritual perspective, I absolutely am proud of you for that.
Oh, thank you so much. We got to do it. It's a stressful job sometimes, but